Hi, so now we know, if you've been watching the two previous videos here, we know what a melody is. We know how to create and to construct lines that sound really good along with the chords in the background in rock, pop, jazz, blues, whatever. Now we also have laid out the arpeggios in a very cool, very systematic way. Now the next step here is to just say, okay, now I have the tools, now I know where to put my fingers, but where do I put what do I do with that? What do I do with these tools? How do I construct lines? You know, I know I can go, I can play these things, but how does that become music? And that next step is something that I'm a big fan of. If you've been watching my other videos about sequences, you know what I'm talking about. Because there's one thing, you can learn licks. Right, you can learn a C major lick, or you can learn a Mixolydian lick, or you can learn a blues lick. But you can also learn sequences. Now that we've constructed or know what we're doing here as far as the notes go, then why not train your fingers to go in all kinds of directions, and then afterwards train them to end and begin lines in different cool ways. And that's what sequences are all about. So you basically practice. Let's say you have a little shape like this, and you have your scale notes put into it. And then you can start practicing sequences. Oops. And by practicing sequences and putting them together in what I call power licks, you get this ability. It's basically the same thing as learning the letters of the alphabet and then learning the words and then start putting words together. It's the same process. And then once you can do words, then the last step is really to put those words together in sentences that make sense. And so, but there's a process to it. It's not like, here are the scales, here's the tools, then you go be creative with that. I cannot teach you how to do that because that's magic. It's not magic, it's a craft, okay? It's something you learn and you do. The magic is what you put into it once you master the craft, right? You master all the techniques, you master the arpeggios that you want to use or you use the most often, you master the scales, and then you practice the sequences to teach your fingers to go in different directions. And as you do that, you start hearing new ideas. Or if you're playing blues, you start hearing new stuff in your head because your fingers can do new stuff. And that's the connection between your ideas, your creativity, and your craft, what you can do. Because you can never, let's say you practice all the scales, and you practice everything, but you don't do the sequences. That's like having all the colors, you have blue and red and whatever, all laid out in front of you. You have the pencil there, what do you call it? The whatever, sorry for my poor language here. And then you have the canvas. And then people say, okay, you got the tools now, just start doing this thing because I can't teach you anything there. I cannot, okay, you can try to paint this painting over here like someone else painted, and then you can paint that and this and that, and just go on doing that until you magically develop the ability to paint. But my guess is that if you've been painting other people's paintings, that your paintings are going to look a little bit like theirs. Can we assume that? Is that a reasonable assumption? But if you learn sequences, which are just, mathematical little notes, they're cold and they're not art in any way, and they don't appeal to your emotions only when you come in. But if you learn those, if you learn the techniques of painting, if you learn how to blend the colors, how to actually reproduce what you see, all those techniques, which is the craft of painting, then you get to a point where you can take those skills that you, and not just the tools, but those skills, and create something very magical from your perspective, from your unique worldview, right? That's the whole point here. So let's go all the way. And all the way means learning sequences, and not just learning the tools of techniques and scale tools and arpeggio tools, but actually teaching your fingers to be creative. Now you can take what I just showed you here and you can run with it. You can mark out those arpeggios on the fretboard and you can start practicing sequences that you either find or create yourself, and you can really start building those skills today. If you want my further help to go deeper into the subject, to developing your skills to the highest level, I warmly recommend that you click the links below this video.